Hello everyone, this is Mike from Medical Models at med-mod.com. Today I want to look at segmenting an MRI scan. There's been some question about that on the Embody website. And so first, I'll look at this data scan here. This is an MRI of a foot from a middle-aged woman, and I don't remember the exact settings on it, but it was optimized for segmenting out the bones from the scan. It was from a 1.5 Tesla scanner. 3.5 or 3.0 Tesla scanners are more common now, so you may get better results. But this is the kind of data you're going to get. This is the volume rendering of the foot, so you can see the data and you can see all the noise basically in the air. So an MRI scan is going to focus on the water or the hydrogen in the volume that you're scanning. So as I mentioned in the last video, I'm not a big fan of using thresholding as a method for segmenting data in general. You could have argued that for a CT scan you can get away with using thresholding, and that's somewhat true. But for an MRI, I'll show that it's very difficult to, or you're not likely to get very decent results. So for this case, I'm just going to use thresholding to separate the bone from the soft tissue, or at least try to. So I can adjust the thresholding range. I can move this one up and down to include more or less from this MRI. This one doesn't really make a difference than what we want. So I'll just adjust it here, try to get something that looks decent. But I can tell you I'm not going to get very good results using thresholding. But just for the sake of argument, I will do that. So now I've created this label file that it's basically a binary label file. So it has a background, and then it has the one variable 2 for all the bone. In the previous video, I looked at creating anatomy using thresholding by going to this grayscale model maker. Basically this way I'm doing the same thing, but it's a little bit more, gives you a little bit more control over how you do it. So if I go down here to model maker, I can use the label here I just made and change settings here. So I'll call this threshold output and run that. And so you can control things here. You can pick which label. So if you had a label file where somehow with thresholding you got multiple labels, which I'm not sure how you can do, but say you did that, you can control which ones you output here. And so you do this manually for each bone or part of interest. And you control how it smooths it. If it uses this sync or Laplacian, and how much it decimates it. This will control the density of your output. That's odd. Didn't create anything there. I think I... Oh, I guess I didn't create a model hierarchy. Let's try that again. And the output here will be a surface model, basically creating a surface from the volume here. And this will be something we compare to the kind of output you can get with segmenting using thresholding on a MRI versus a using region growing method. So that is the kind of output you get, and that's basically worthless. There's just nothing there. You can kind of see, you know, okay, you can kind of see the bones a little bit. The flanges came out okay, but there's just a lot of messiness around it. It would take a lot of work to get this separated out. So let's just go ahead and turn that off so we don't see it. And go back to segmenting. I will create a new label map. And I will segment it using the region growing method. I'm not going to do the whole foot, just for the sake of the video think it'll be much quicker just to do some of the bones. So I'm putting in background here. It's always important to define background. If you hold down Shift, it will relocate the other planes. It's a very nice feature for this method. Got some background. I'll add some soft tissue. So for this case, I'm basically just treating all this stuff here as soft tissue, and so because I just want to look at the bones, and I want to. You always want to add some labels between the bones. I'm only planning to segment out the hind foot, so that will make it faster and easier because the hind foot joints have larger spaces between them, basically where all the cartilage is. So here's the tibia. So whenever I'm seating, I like to try to get kind of out to the periphery or the kind of corners of the bone. There's a tibia, and I always like to put seeds in each plane. Let's go to the fibula. So the quality of data for an MRI often isn't uniform all the way across like a CT scan. So you may have noticed how as you get to the extremity, like where the tibia and fibula are cut off, it's basically, I think the signal to noise ratio goes down, so it just gets lower and lower quality. I'm doing the tailless, center bone of the foot. It's an interesting bone because it doesn't have many or maybe any ligament or tendon attachments. It's basically held in place by all the bones that surround it, and it's really the central bone of the foot. So I found it interesting. Here's our ankle joint. Next I'll look at the calcaneus, the heel bone. Takes all your load on it. Your Achilles tendon attaches there. There's our subtalar joint. I'll put some more soft tissue in here. Yeah, if you don't put these kind of seeds in between the joints, they will definitely grow out. So the goal of this video is to show that you can get better results using this method. But admittedly, it's definitely not as fast as thresholding. But there just aren't ways around it. It is going to take time if you want decent results. Okay, I'm going to add some more general soft tissue stuff in here. So this just soft tissue will include ligaments, tendons, muscles, fat, retinaculum, if I'm saying that correctly. Here's your fat pad under your heel. Everyone has fat in their foot. Okay, so I'm going to save this before I go in. Oh, that's weird. And run the segmentation. I'm not sure what's going on over there. It's kind of odd. But I'm going to use this FastGrowCut effect. Again, it has the benefit of growing out all the seeds at once. until they interfere with each other, and give you the interactive mode. It's taking a while to save here. Okay. I'm not sure. Oh, I guess that's the volume rendering of the... I'm not sure what's going on there. So start FastGrowCut, nothing happens until I hit G. Now it's running the FastGrowCut. This will take a while, especially the first time. It takes a while to run. And I don't expect this to give me perfect results. But even after that relatively short amount of effort, I do expect to get much more distinction between the bones than just using a thresholding effect. And as a reminder, if you do this, make sure that you save. This is the way I like to do it, is save the seeds. Okay, well here's the results. So the the 4 bones segmented, and you can always see they're pretty decent results. We've got some of the cuboid here, and so I think I'll segment the cuboid just to get the calcaneus a bit cleaner. But yeah, and the soft tissue did grow out a bit, especially at the top here. So I'll hit S, which switches me back to this mode. Yeah, I can't really see the background that much there. For some reason this volume, it looks like it went a little bit past the cut line, which I don't really understand why there's any data there. But anyways, I'll add some more background around here. Yeah, if you notice when I looked at the volume rendering of the MRI, there's a lot of noise just out in the air. You don't really get that with the CT scan, but there is water in the air, and there's hydrogen floating around in the air, so that's going to show up in your scan, depending on your settings and whatnot. And I thought I would segment the cuboid, see if it stops there, if it bleeds out to the next one. Actually, no, instead of doing that, I'm just going to add some more soft tissue seeds between there, because I don't want to get stuck segmenting the entire foot for this video, because I just want to show what you can get with a region growing type of segmentation. I haven't said that enough times. Yeah, so I'm hoping this will constrain it in there. So I will hit G again. It's very important, and I've done this many times, where instead of hitting G, I hit S again to look back at what the result was, and then that actually erases your changes to your seed. So that's kind of an annoying aspect of the FastGrowCut implementation in this, but as long as you get used to that, it's not a huge deal. Okay, so I updated it. Still went into the cuboid. Looks like I can kind of break it off there. Let's see if okay, so that's better up there. Yeah, so if I was going to try to print this, I would definitely want to be careful about stuff like this for the soft tissue. Even when I run smoothing, it may not kind of join that all together. So there may be, I maybe need to do other things, but I want to spend a little bit more time. Looks like I can add some soft tissue around the posterior of the calcaneus. Try to keep this all in. Alright, hit S to go back And let's add some more around the back. Yeah, hard to see. So if you can't see it with your eyes, the algorithm is also going to have a hard time distinguishing it. MRIs are just more difficult to segment. There's really no way around it. Like that looks very similar value intensity to what is around it. The edge of the bone, cortical bone, doesn't have as much hydrogen in it. Doesn't show up as bright as soft tissue. So sometimes that can help to kind of create an edge. But a lot of times you also find that the volume you get from an MRI is going to be a bit smaller than actual anatomy. It's kind of like kept it on the edge. And that is a difficult thing to deal with if you want really exact models. But then if you want really exact bone models, MRI is really not the best way to go. But in a lot of cases, MRI is all you're going to get. MRI has the benefit of not using ionizing radiation, so it's safer to your patient, your subject, depending on what you're doing. And MRI, in general, I think it's safe to say there's a lot more potential future advancement with MRI over CT scans. There are multi-detector CT scans that can perform really quickly, which I think is a way to reduce the amount of radiation you get. So there's of course room for improvement with CT scans, but MRI just has so much more potential. Common MRI scanners are 1.5T or 3T, but I've heard of research ones going up to like 11T, where you have to get rolled into the core over like 5 minutes because you don't want to move your head quickly in MRI. Apparently it gives you a really bad headache, especially in the strong ones. Okay, I'm going to run this again, see if I get a little bit better results. But obviously, if you were doing this, you do all the bones, and so that would help with some of this issue of the calcaneus bleeding into that. But I think either way, I'll move on and create a couple models from this. So still running down here. Yeah, that looks like a calcaneus. There's extra there, but for the sake of the video, yeah, you may have remembered that this segmenting, the CT scan was much faster, just because it gives you such a much more crisp image. Okay, yeah, I gotta fix that. So go back to S. You can also just not separate soft tissue. When I used to do this kind of stuff, I would just have background and bone. But for 3D printing, it's kind of nice to have the soft tissue in there. But it does create a little bit extra work to get that working. Oh, I don't think I've actually shown. Never mind. Yeah, so it's definitely tempting to go back to the results to check, but then I would lose all these little changes. Still running. Okay. Not the best, but obviously you can see with some more time, you can get things better. So I'm going to save this. Once again, I always want to remember to save it in this form. If I saved it where it showed the actual labels, the volume that's segmented, then you lose this kind of the base of your segmentation, the seeds. And I like having these because if I ever want to go back, it's easier to change seeds than to go back and try to fix the kind of result. Okay, so we hit S again. Whoops, not sure what I did there. Oh, there we go. So we can switch between the. Oh, is that the wrong one? Nope. Alright, so let's go make some models. I am going to go back to the model maker. I will start with label 3 to, let's go to 6. I think that will cover the bones I want. Alright, so now it should be taking the 3D volume and creating a model based on that of the bone. No, there we go. It was showing the wrong label there. So it's working on the different models here. It's going to give it a name, model 2, and adds on the actual name from the Alright, so that's done. Let's go to here. Wait. Oh, that's what happened. Some of these got turned on. All right, if I go to models, I can turn off the background. I will turn off Alright, so if you're looking at this, this will be the output from segmenting an MRI using the region growing method. Turn off soft tissue, and here's the actual bones. So still doesn't look that good, but they're separated, and you can see how some more time we could have gotten some better results. Looks like the Tailless also grew over into the navicular a bit. These are very rough. There is another important step that I would probably want to show, which is actually doing volume smoothing. Label map smoothing. Unfortunately, this only seems to work for one piece of anatomy at a time, but output volume, I think I will do 3. Let's do 5. I think 5 is a calcaneus from memory. You can control how things are smoothed. Nope, that was a Tailless. I can tell you already it looks a little bit better, but let's go and make a model from that volume. I'll call this Tailless Smooth. And run that. I don't typically create the models using Slicer. I use MATLAB because I can do them all at the same time with different settings and whatnot. But so there you see it's been smooth, so you get a much better result than the one you get right away. Yeah, so that's without volume smoothing. You still see there's a lot of cleanup to do around there. So obviously region growing is not a silver bullet. It definitely still takes time, and with a lot more time I definitely get better results in this. I've gotten better results on this exact foot by spending more time on it. But for the sake of the video, I hope you can see that there is benefit to using the region growing method to get multiple anatomy and just segmentation in general trying to show the other result. Yeah, so this is the result using thresholding with yellow here versus using region growing and then smoothing the result. Yeah, so this is a segmentation. So it's definitely still much more work to be done if I wanted to do this whole foot. But I hope you found this video useful. Feel free to comment, and if you have any questions or ideas for other videos that you'd like to see done, especially with 3D Slicer, I'd be happy to show that. I think I will do another video in the future looking at this segmentations feature. It's a new feature in 3D Slicer. Still working on it, so if you want to use it, don't use this version 4.62, but use the 4.7, I think, 0.0. There's nightly builds of it, so it's not completely as stable. But if you want to use this, I would definitely go with the newer versions. So thank you for your time, and I hope you found this video helpful.